Show is brought to you by Keel Fish Shack.
Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo, and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another home edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, coming to you live on the South Florida Live networks. As you see today, we are just a split screen and not a trio. We are missing Jeff DeForest. He is not at a casino. Well, I don't know where he is, but he's not in Atlantic City. He's not in Las Vegas, I don't think, unless he just hopped an early morning flight. What's going on, Mike Lubie? How are you today?
I am doing well. He is honoring someone near and dear to a lot of South Florida's heart of footy. I guess they're doing a dedication to the Here's Help and naming it Footy's Here Help, or something with Footy's name in it. And we go a long way back with Footy. Defo, been friends with him for years, and we have a connection through Hialeah Park. So I think a lot of our friends, I think Leslie Visser will be there. A lot of the people that, a lot of our dear friends from Hialeah Park will be here, the one and only Frank Fiore. So Defo's going out there to celebrate the one and only John Footy Cross today, and sad he won't be here with us, but we'll hold down the fort for him.
So now, fill me in a little bit. Where is this shindig, and where was what's that?
Somewhere in Opelika. I guess there's a Here's Help in the.
Okay.
It's an organization Footy started years ago to help youth, troubled youth, and get them focused. And I know he's helped hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of kids over the years. And I guess they're finally dedicating it officially to footy. So
that's nice. And why do I always think when I hear footy, I think of the name Kenny Walker? Was that like the sidekick, the partner?
Kenny Walker was on. It was the what was it? The Y100 Morning Zoo or something, like years before they went to Elvis Duran. It was actually Footy's show with Kenny Walker, and they had a whole bunch of cast of characters, and it was on for years. And then Footy went on to do some other things, and then really focus on his charity.
So that was back when local radio actually had local radio personalities, before
Yes.
It all became one big amalgamation mall, just syndicated, the same brand people all of. Not that we're harping on the demise of terrestrial radio, because it's given us an opening and we've cut out the middleman, and look at us now. It's it's quite a wonderful thing. And Footy, yes or no? Did he develop hot sauce? Is that still
Footy sauce? I don't know if it still exists. I know it was great. Like, I was I'm not the hugest fan of like the really, really, really hot stuff, but they had a different range of sauces, and it was really good. I know they used to sell it in Publix and other places. I don't know if it still exists, but Footy's wing sauce, I think, is what he would call it, and it was really good. Like, I was a big fan of it, actually.
That's good. We've come across some really nice hot sauces across our Lunchbox travels, including, of course, Wicked Cheesesteak last week. He's got a great cayenne pepper sauce. I've been putting that stuff on everything. And also our friends at Keel Fish Shack. They have a very good hot sauce that you put a couple of dabs on their oysters and other seafood. And Keel, of course, will be going out there later in the month. We also have lined up a couple of remote shows. I guess this week we have confirmed very good news. Lenore Gilbert is back in action at Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. She was on injured reserve for a while, but she is one tough cookie, a New Yorker like myself at heart, and there's no keeping a good woman down. And we'll be getting back together with Lenore. And with Beth, I could get a little out of hand, out of control, out of line. With Lenore, there is none of that. She'll slap me back into my place in no time. I will not be eating any kind of pies with chopsticks. She will throw me out of the joint, ban me permanently. I've got a good big list of an agenda today. Look, I was trying to scramble when I heard that Defo had a conflicting what do we call that? A conflict. My brain is not working today, by the way. I had a unbelievably bad migraine headache.
Oh, Jesus.
I do have the new AC that might be related to the new AC system. Not that there's any dust or mold now going around, because Of course, the people that installed the system, and it is cooling off and working perfectly, but they did manage to upsell me another 1,200 on the mold remediation, like around the vent, up in the vent. It did look pretty ugly up there, and I've had some mold issues in other bedrooms that I've stripped down, but this was up in the vents that I haven't seen. When they remove the air handler and you see all the, nobody wants to see how the sausage is made or the guts of a 60-year-old house. But of course, he had to, give me the spiel about putting on the sanitizer, and they clean it up, and then they install the magic UV light wand that kills it. You know what? Sometimes you got to bite the bullet and say, hey, one of these days, maybe I'll be selling this house, and I could pitch it as one of the features of a all new.
Will go far. It's just annoying with a house. Like, it feels like everything always, not feels like, for you, it's literally everything happens at once. Like, it can't be through the years, a little of that. No, it's everything right now.
They say that homeowners should always like build up a reserve of like 3% of the home's value for annual maintenance and unexpected expenses. And of course, with insurance going up the way it is, nobody's able to save any kind of rainy day fund for the house. And my rainy day fund came after a rainy day because of all the flooding. And just when I had this chunk of money that I was planning on doing some things with the house, like actually finishing off the guest room and doing exterior paint job. But now, boom, that's all gone because the electric panel needed redoing. The AC, again, it's all done. It's blowing cool in here. It is now a nice, very comfortable 74 degrees in Casa de Mayo. Nice. And hopefully it'll be in a more efficient system. We'll see if there's any savings on the FPL bills, which have been getting outrageous. But and like you said, it all happens at once. So I am expecting the hot water heater to burst at any second. I probably should just bite the bullet and get a new one now with whatever dwindling funds and credit that I have. But anyway, I just had a unbelievably bad migraine this morning. I don't know. I mean, I didn't drink that much yesterday, and I had a couple of cocktails when I played poker. I got knocked out at about 10:30. But anyway, popped a couple of Advil, and the show must go on. And here we have me and you, and we're going to have some food discussions today. So here's the agenda that I posted on Let's Eat South Florida to preview the show. I said today on the Lunchbox, Mayo's taco ambivalence, Lubie's. Well, we'll talk about that. Lubie's sushi reticence, bartender's sixth sense about tipping. And then we also have, is pastrami with unmelted cheese a food crime? And why Let's Eat South Florida is great and also so frustrating. And rounding it out, why Yelp is just ridiculous, particularly Yelp Elites. So that is setting the table. Let's start with you and Sushi, because we kind of jammed in at the end yesterday. And Defo, you couldn't tell a guy wanted to get out of there as much as
he gets so weird at the end of the show. Like we have so much going on now with this show that I'll go as long as we have. Like, I don't care. Like,
yeah, we got to fit in our sponsors. We're not on radio. If we go 8 minutes over, if the audience is still with us, and thankfully we still do have some audience, and thank you everybody for tuning in every day, whenever you do. And again, next week we are, I believe, going to be moving to the 1 p.m. hour. So the live stream will begin every day at 1 p.m., 1 to 2, except on days that we still maybe stay at noon. I guess we're kind of the
people watch us live, so it's not like I want to disregard that audience. But if you do, I guess they can't look at our numbers. It's clear that the majority of our audience isn't watching live, which is fine. So that's
it's a streaming show. It's there on demand, and people can click on it anytime if they find it on the the Mike Mayo's Lunchbox Facebook page, or I post it onto the Let's Eat group every day, and of course it's on the South Florida Live Facebook page and on the YouTube pages. At some point, I guess I really should set up a MikeMayoEats.com webpage, which I do. I have that URL, and I actually I was paying a guy to kind of just maintain it, but I didn't really make it an active site. But maybe I should do that. There's so many things I should be doing, and yet every day with all the life throws at me, somehow I never get things done. But we jammed in at the end of the show before Defo was rolling his eyes like, "Let's get out of here." Is that because he's like an old man and he needs to get on his walk of life at a certain
think so,
time?
yeah. He's gotten very regimented. If he doesn't do certain things, then he won't do it, which is fine. It is what it is. But
Okay.
I don't mind lingering, especially if people are engaged. If they're not, we can get out. Like I get it.
He could always drop, like, the way he scurries off to the betting windows at Gulfstream every Friday at 1:00 because he has to hit the early double at every racetrack in North America. But no, we were talking about you made your first trip to Kaizen Sushi, and again, that's one of my favorite places. I've become friends with Hui, the owner. I first was introduced to it. They opened up, I think, in 2019, and I went in there when I was still the food critic reviewer for the Sun Sentinel, and without knowing anything about him or his lovely fiance, that I just went in there and I was blown away by the presentation, the quality, the way that every roll that he puts a little, just a very nice aesthetic touch on it. And if you want to go into the higher end, more exotic cuts of fish that are being flown in every other day from Japan, you could really explore some exotic cuts, or you can kind of stay with the tried and true and you get some really good value dishes. But again, you were saying yesterday that you're not the biggest sushi fan, or you've never really dabbled in the realm of sushi that much.
Like I don't mind. Like so, growing up, we didn't do a lot of sushi. Like my wife, like her family itself, would go out and eat sushi even when she was a little kid. So it was always a big part of her dietary findings. Like my mom is very weird when it comes to fish. My dad loved fish, but my mom didn't, and she did most of the cooking.
Of course, because they're Jews, right? I mean, Jews are really strange with fish. It's like they won't touch sushi because it's raw fish, but you give them all the like smoked salmon in the world, even though it's cold and slimy, and just throw it on a bagel with some cream cheese, and they're just shoveling it until next Sukkot. So it's
like my
it's
dad
crazy.
grew up. My patriarchal grandparents were very adventurous eaters. Like they traveled a lot and they were open. So they put that eating French food, eating some more things that Eastern European Jews don't eat. My mom dabbled in certain things like some Italian dishes and things like that, but she didn't do a lot of island food and didn't do a lot of fish. So I didn't grow up with that at all, Good afternoon, Larry. So yes, it's on.
Larry Marks and the Hizzle. I love my Larry.
So I didn't do a lot of sushi. So it seemed raw fish. I would eat raw fish. So as I got older, my ex-wife, my wife liked sushi. So I'm open to it, but it still is ingrained in me. Like it never feels like a meal. Like to me, like I like a hot dish along with my sushi.
Well, if you go to some of these omakase places now where they serve like 18 different courses and each one is like one piece of fish, but by the time you get to course number 16, even a prodigious eater such as myself is pretty filled up by then. And it's not just the rice, it's all kinds of good cuts of fish. But you seem to me, the way you ordered and you described your order, that you got like a tenderloin sushi thing and another shrimp tempura thing. That's what I call sushi for people who don't like sushi, because you're eating cooked items, which is fine. I mean, a lot of places do that, but me being condescending elitist Mike Mayo is going to say, when I go to a sushi place, I want like those premium, raw, beautifully, fresh cut pieces of, things that you don't ordinarily see, like amberjack or horse mackerel is one of those things that Hui does. That's beautiful. Also this Japanese kind of fish. And then you have, all the premium cuts, the tuna, the chutoro and the otoro. And now a lot of the tuna, instead of coming from Japan where it's really pricey, they're getting a lot of the tuna that you see in sushi restaurants here coming from Spain. That Spanish tuna is beautiful and also fatty and luscious. But you didn't really you didn't venture into some of those premium cuts of tuna. Are you with me, Mike?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the menu because we did a little bit of everything, because Shirley loves sushi so much. It is one of the staples in our rotation. So we wanted to, being at Kaizen and it being built up, not only by you, but by me being there last year and wanting to take Shirley there this whole time, we wanted to get stuff we don't normally get. We didn't want to just get a tuna roll.
Right.
So like we asked the server, what are some of the stuff? And that's where it was sort of, again, like we've talked about, I don't go to that's why omakase works for us because
Yep.
our tastes are so diverse that we don't just pigeonhole on a thing. We'd rather you help us figure out what we may like, especially going to a place like Kaizen that has an upper echelon kind of sushi. So what we got wasn't really we want hot versus cold because Shirley can eat cold sushi all day. It was stuff that we would like the tuna tataki. We never
Yeah,
had that
which is
before.
nice. Seared lightly with a
No,
nice ponzu sauce. Yeah.
we had never had it.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were looking for hot stuff per se. It was more of what let's not get the same old thing that we always get. And we got the one that had mango in it. This one right here, this what was it? The love roll, where it was lobster
Yeah.
tempura, escalar, mango, cucumber.
Oh, escalar. You got escalar. That's one of the polarizing foods
I don't even know
at
what
a
it is.
sushi
We didn't know what it
restaurant.
was. We just it was something that
Oh,
she had offered up, and we're like, oh, that's interesting. I don't usually
well,
like fruit in my food, but what was cool about it is there was mango, but you couldn't really it didn't overpower it. It was just
yeah.
really there.
Now that love roll, lobster tempura again, lightly battered and
Yeah,
fried, so it's a cooked item. Mango, I wouldn't be caught dead putting mango anywhere
you
near
don't
my
really like
sushi. But again, that's a subjective thing. That's fine. But escolar is a very polarizing fish.
that.
It's known as the poop
Oh,
fish. It's a white fish. It's very high in oil content. And one of the things is there's a certain percentage of people that when they eat escolar, it's remember when they put that substitute oil, the olestra,
yeah,
in
yeah,
potato
yeah. That
chips,
was rough.
and some people had the reaction where they immediately had oily diarrhea.
Yeah,
And I apologize to anybody eating lunch during the
sorry.
lunchbox. Okay, oily
Oh,
discharge, let's
jeez.
say. But escolar has that same effect on some people, and
Hmm.
it's one of those things like everything in moderation. If you just have little couple of slivers in escolar blended into a roll, it probably won't affect
I didn't
you.
have an issue, and my wife's very open with me, and I was not informed of any issues. So good to know after the fact because we enjoyed the roll a
But
lot, and we wouldn't have gotten it knowing that. So
there are some people who will lambaste and criticize a Japanese restaurant for even carrying and serving
I
escolar.
don't know.
I just think, there's a warning that's, eating any kind of raw items could be, it could be lead to, gastrointestinal problems, or if some people who have compromised immune systems shouldn't be eating raw seafood items, blah, blah, blah. Escolar is one of those things. I used to eat it, and it never really infected me. Well, I guess a couple of times when I ate too much of it,
Yeah.
maybe it did. But it was one of those things that I discovered. And look, I'm not going to knock a place that carries it, but there are some people who just say, "Oh, that shouldn't even be on the menu. It's a dangerous fish." It's actually been banned in certain European
Oh,
countries.
jeez.
It can't be served in certain countries. Maybe Canada too. I got to do some research on that. But
Yeah.
United States, it's still allowed to be served. And again, it was in your role, and I'm glad that you got through it without any ill effects. The other polarizing dish that I see on the chat line at sushi places is uni, which is, of course, sea urchin. And the top of the line sea urchin comes from Hokkaido province of Japan. And then there's other sea urchin that is served different times of the year. Get it from Santa Barbara, California. It could be good. There's also Canadian uni. I think the Canadian uni comes out a little bit more metallic and has maybe more of an aftertaste chemically. Uni is a very distinct flavor profile. Did you try any
Oh,
there?
I would
No.
have.
Okay.
I asked you when we first. I should have asked you earlier in the day, and it didn't even hit me. And then when we sat down, I was like, you know what? Because the server was great, but she wasn't really giving us. She was just naming stuff. I was like, okay, I don't know if she's giving us what's good or bad or
Yeah.
whatever.
And I apologize because I didn't see your text about what you guys should get until about an hour and a half after the fact, and that was because I was busy drinking and gambling all day
It's
with
fine. We
my
can't.
buddies.
Whatever we got ended up being really good. But your suggestions after, like, you literally text me as we were paying the bill. So I'm like, oh, that's good for next time. But like that's the thing is we tried like we got this thing, the bulgogi roll, which was this is the tenderloin, marinated tenderloin with sweet potato, cucumber, avocado, and unagi sauce. And to me, why do I need that in a roll? But it was so freaking good. Like it
It's delicious,
was
and it's
really
again,
good.
it's
Like
bulgogi is like the Korean beef, and so he's doing like kind of a mashup fusion roll there, which is fine. I wouldn't get that there, but if you guys look, everything he executes there is good. Even his He does filet mignon and steaks for people that don't like fish,
Yeah.
and I've never heard a bad word about it. One of my favorite appetizers there, before I go diving into all the ocean of fresh fish, is he does these grilled lamb chops, little lamb chop loins that he bastes with the like a soy sauce butter sauce over a mound of spinach. And it's just like three little lamb chops. And if you're there with a group, you each have a lamb chop, and it's a great little way to start the meal with a little bit of meat. And um, but yeah, the uni is one of those things that he does a specialty. If you do his omakase or you just ask for it, he serves it on like a spoon, like one of those soup spoons or pearl spoons.
Things, yeah.
But it's got a dollop of uni, and then it's got a quail egg, and then it's got a little bit of diced scallop, the Hokkaido scallop, which is another delicacy, also like sliced raw, shimmering from the sea with great salinity. And again, he has a little bit of a sauce that he puts on top. So it's a quail egg with scallop with uni, and you slurp it all down in one bite. And that's one of those things where it's sliding down my gullet. My nipples get hard. It's sorry, everybody, for that image, but it's just one of those great bites. And Gui does it so well. And I see people, Eric Newberg, talking on the chat. I don't know if he's had it there, but that dish is a stunner. And it's not for everybody, because uni, some people have compared the taste of uni to basically wet socks.
Oh, so it can be either.
If you've been walking through, let's say, the beach and the sand and seaweed, and then you go into the ocean a little bit, and then you take off your socks and wring them out, and then just kind of suck on your socks.
But is that what it tastes like, or it tastes like to some people?
To some people, it's like, I guess, the great cilantro debate. To some people, it tastes like soap. To some people, other people like myself, it tastes like a delicious herb. But no, uni, it has a distinct flavor profile. It's not for everybody. It's funky.
Okay.
That's how I describe it. It's a very funky sea flavor, and I happen to love it. I love it in combination with different things. It's not for everybody. But I am glad that you were adventurous and you went out there and you got out of your comfort zone. And next time, if we go together, or better yet, when we do a Lunchbox show there, I'm going to make.
If you want to go ahead in Kaizen, I can go there again. That place was, it was just the thing, as like we've talked about with all the restaurants we go to. A lot of the time, even when you like food, it's not like the flavors are distinct. It's good. It tastes good. I don't know. The flavors were strong, but not overwhelming. Like, it was really good.
One of the things that he does there, and again, Hui is Cambodian by birth. He grew up in Massachusetts, and then he met his girlfriend's family, his fiance Chow. Her family ran a couple of sushi places, one in the middle of Massachusetts, in Sturbridge, Massachusetts, and that was the original Kaizen. He got a job there. He became totally enamored with sushi and sushi culture, and then he started working at some really high-end places. I think in New York City, he worked at a couple places. He worked for a brief spurt after moving to Florida, South Florida. He worked at Kuro, the high-end Japanese sushi place at the Hard Rock. And he picked up all kinds of techniques, and he's just obsessed with sushi. So again, it's one of those things that you don't have to be Japanese. And there's a lot of sushi chefs from Korea, South Korea, that are in South Florida, because South Korea, sushi is a big part of their menu too. It's not strictly a Japanese food, but anybody, it's the whole debate. Do you have to be of a certain nationality or heritage?
Something, it seems like some Chinese Thai restaurants. That's like a big thing now. A Thai place that will also have sushi.
Well,
is that what when, because I feel like Mayo has his rules about things like this. Like, when you go to a Thai place, will you get sushi? Because to me, I'm like, it's just sushi, so I'm sure it's not bad, but it sort of weirds me out. Like, why am I going to a Thai place to get sushi?
No, that Thai sushi, I think I still wanted to get into the original history of it. It was a South Florida creation. I don't know if you call it an innovation. I believe. I mean, now you see Asian fusion all over the country, but the whole sushi Thai thing, I think I don't know for whatever reasons, a lot of people in South Florida are just kind of culturally dumb, and they don't realize that Thailand is nowhere near Japan, and the cuisines have nothing to do each other with each other. But a lot of people, because it's so damn hot in Florida, and in summertime, everybody just default loves to eat
Yeah.
sushi, no matter where they are. Because now you see sushi served in places like Quarterdeck, and
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but like a lot of places have sushi
Yep,
bars,
yep.
including our great sponsors at Max's Grill in Boca, which I was going to be talking about in a second. We're going to be going there, I believe, next week.
Jim Tom's
On
has a
next
pseudo sushi
next week,
bar and they do a
yeah.
good job, but still, it's
But the Thai places, people would go in there and say, "Do you have sushi?" Like Thai food, and I guess eventually they got tired of hearing the question, and they just started. Some of them started serving sushi. The first one I could recall was Eddie Hill's, which used to be a diner, actually, like a straight up breakfast and lunch diner in Hallandale Beach near Gulfstream on Federal Highway. They converted to a Thai sushi restaurant. I'm gonna say in the early
oh
'90s,
wow.
and it was one of the first ones that I could remember where there was Thai and sushi together. And I don't know why, but it became a South Florida thing. And how does Mayo feel about it? Mayo, the condescending elitist purist, say no. I want a Thai restaurant that's strictly Thai, like Larb Thai Isan or Eat Thai up in my friend Sopanut up in Delray Beach. Eat Thai is like strictly Thai food with Thai flavors and presentation. Although his menu, he's getting much more also inventive and creative and kind of branching out with different kinds of preparations. But it's strictly Thai, and I like sushi places that are basically just sushi or sushi with cooked Japanese food and steaks, because a lot of the Japanese restaurants do have grilled and cooked steaks and items and noodle dishes and things like that. But I don't know. Are there any rules anymore? I mean, that's going to be a topic for the whole pastrami with unmelted cheese discussion that we can have. Well, you know what? Let's take our first break. And as I was saying, the newest sponsors here at Lunchbox headquarters is the Rappaport Restaurant Group restaurants. Burt Rappaport, a great restaurateur, legendary figure in the business in South Florida. And he's got 4 restaurants. He's got Deck 84 in Delray Beach, right on the Intracoastal, the water. He's got Burton Max's out in West Delray, West Atlantic, just past the turnpike there in that Delray marketplace. And he's got Prezzo. He's a partner with Eddie Pizzoli, and there's now 2 Prezzos, one in Boca and one in Palm Beach Gardens. And then there's the restaurant I wanted to talk about today, the one that we're going to be going to. I believe it's next Wednesday. I got to look at my dates again here, Lubie, but I believe we're going to be going out to Max's Grill a week from Wednesday.
24th, right? Weren't those the 2?
Let me see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna look it up soon. If I was more prepared,
There was
I would
one
have
Wednesday and one Tuesday.
Wednesday, yes, Max's Grill, Boca Raton, Wednesday, October 18th. We will be visiting with the Lunchbox at our new time of 1 p.m. And we're going to be talking to the chef. I think they're introducing a new fall menu lineup, and we'll be talking to them there. Again, the place, Max's Grill, has been there since 1991, so they're doing something right. It was a place that originally Bert had partnered with his former longtime business partner, Dennis Max. And again, it's in Meisner Park, 401 Plaza Real. And for more than 3 decades, just a really beautiful, contemporary, modern American cuisine, casual, stylish setting. Could have beautiful drinks at the bar. They got all kinds of good deals, happy hour. They have an outdoor patio that becomes the place to be seen and hang out in the summer. I'm sorry, in the winter cooler months in South Florida. And again, they do have a sushi bar because so many people like sushi. They also now have a dry aged steak program, and they have a lot of great signature dishes like their salmon, the bacon wrapped meatloaf. And they have a sun-dried tomato hummus with Parmesan breadsticks.
Nice. We need to try that.
And we've got to try that. And I kind of got it wrong in the spot that we taped them. We've got to kind of edit that spot because I got some copy garbled when I was, again, my brain must have been scrambled that day. I said it was a tomato Parmesan breadsticks. No, it's sun-dried tomato hummus with the Parmesan breadsticks.
Okay.
It's a beautiful dish. And again, a lot of lighter bites on the cooler side for the the South Florida weather. It's open daily with live music Wednesday through Saturday and has a great weekend brunch. For reservations and more information, go to maxsgrill.com. That's Max's Grill with a E at the end .com. And yeah, let's take our first block break here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about things like my taco ambivalence and is it a shanda to put unmelted cheese on a pastrami sandwich? I know there's a Rachel, but that's usually melted cheese with coleslaw and Russian dressing. It's a whole
That's
concoction.
the thing I like.
But just a like a pastrami sandwich where you just throw 3 slices of Swiss cheese on it. Somebody did that and posted it on the Let's Eat group, and it caused a ruckus. But we'll talk about that and other things after these words. Mayo here for Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. Since 1951, family owned for over 70 years, the home of freshness. I've been a customer for over 3 decades, and it's the place to go for poultry, steaks, meats, and of course, their unbelievable selection of fish and seafood. They've got it all. Key West pink shrimp, grouper, snapper, lobster, and of course, Florida stone crab claws of all sizes. Don't forget their famous fish dip and a full selection of prepared foods. It's located at 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, just across from the Seminole Classic Casino. Owner Doug Carter and crew will take great care of you. Make sure to check out their weekly specials and daily catch online at DelawareChicken.com. Quality, value, freshness, that's the Delaware way. Tell them Mike Mayo and the Lunchbox sent you. Do you like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. It's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 in the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value for tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Back on the Lunchbox, Defo list Tuesday, but we do have Mike Lubitz, fresh from his sumptuous meal at Kaizen. All right, now on to the pastrami police. Somebody went to Top Hat Deli in Fort Lauderdale, one of the Be Nice restaurants, and we love Elliot Wolf. And my apologies to Elliot. I was supposed to go to the Oyster Fest on Friday night, but that's the night my whole electric system and air conditioning blew up, and I had to stick around the homestead to take some measures and make sure mom was okay. So I missed the Oyster Fest last weekend that he held at Coconuts, but at Top Hat Deli, which shows his kind of ode to his heritage, and he does makes his own, corned beef in-house and pastrami supposedly in-house. And somebody posted a picture of a pastrami sandwich there the other day. Again, it's not a kosher restaurant, but the person didn't post a picture of a Rachel sandwich, which of course is pastrami with melted Swiss and coleslaw and Russian dressing on toasted rye bread. He just posted a pastrami on rye, but just with like 3 slices of unmelted Swiss. And for some reason, I recoiled in Brooklyn horror at that. It triggered me. I got to be honest. And I don't know. What say you, Mike Lubie? Should there be any rules or food police, or just anybody could eat anything any way they want?
I mean, I'm all about. I understand being sort of like grossed out by things people do, but because I am someone that will put ketchup on a hot dog, or you've seen me put ketchup on a Philly cheesesteak. There's only so much I can judge others when I'm doing these faux pas when it comes to food. So I understand people going, ugh, because Shirley will do that she does. What does she do? When she used to put ketchup, she used to put mayonnaise on a hot dog because she is Latin, and that's like, the Colombians do the whole focaccia.
Yeah, they put a quail egg on it too. Talking about quail eggs.
The whole thing. So I would just shake my head, but like she does a lot of
pineapple.
She does a lot of it. Yeah, she loves pineapple on pizza. So like, I marry this person, so it's like there's only so much I can judge others when in my own home between the two of us we do pretty much all the major faux pas. That doesn't sound like a complete sandwich. Like it feels like it's missing a lot when you're just putting cheese on top of.
We had comments run the gamut of, you might as well put it on Wonder Bread with mayonnaise once you're doing that.
Which I've done.
Hey, and you know what? I used to be very particular. Look, food is subjective, and you can live by your own food rules, but don't impose. It's like religion. Don't impose your religion on others. Yes. Let other people have their own points of view. And again, it's the same thing with, lots of things in life. But so even though the picture triggered me, I say, fine, enjoy it. I hope you had a nice sandwich. Enjoy every sandwich is the motto of this show, as Warren Zevon said. That's what he's learned in life. And if you happen to enjoy a sandwich with, deli meat with unmelted Swiss cheese, and it didn't look like any mustard was near it. No, that was the whole point, Lubie. It was unmelted cheese. It was just like 3 slices of regular cheese on top of a pile of pastrami. And that's the part that triggered me, because you're used to seeing Reuben's, which is corned beef with melted Swiss, and Rachel's, which is pastrami with melted Swiss. Yeah. But I'm not used to seeing like you see a Dagwood sandwich where you put the roast beef and turkey and ham and then a couple of slices of Swiss cheese or American cheese or whatever it is without being melted. But I just, it's funny, but how visuals can definitely set people off. And it set a lot of people off. There were hundreds of comments, as usual, which is one of the things that makes Let's Eat South Florida Let's Eat. Another thing that makes it Let's Eat. Now we get into my whole taco. It's not a conundrum. It's just ambivalence. It seems like, how do you feel about tacos, Lubie? Do you like tacos?
Like, actually, do you eat it? When I would go to a Mexican restaurant, which we haven't gone in a while, I want to get out to La Bamba's. Actually, we like La Bamba's, and there's one right here. It was my go-to. Like, people get these big meals and all this stuff. I like tacos. Like, I grew up, Taco Bell had just become a thing when I was young. So like, there's like a soft spot there for and I know it's not a taco to you. And I've grown and I've been to La Union and I've been to out west where they do the ones. It's hard for me to get used to the corn tortilla. I don't. The consistency is freaking weird a lot of the time.
So you're a white flour
Yeah, I'd
tortilla
rather
guy.
white flour, but
Hard. How about hard? Like Defo,
I like hard. Like
how
thing you make a face. I grew up.
Defo has the palate of a 1950s American housewife, and he likes the crunchy
I love
taco, the hard shell, which is not a Mexican thing. That's an American
Yes,
thing.
100%. Look, that's the thing. I grew up between Taco Bell and my parents. My mom would do taco night, but it would always be like, what was it, Ortega or whatever brand?
Yeah, Ortega tacos with the seasoning,
Hard taco, and then she would do that, and they were good. So that's what I grew up with. I have opened my horizons. I do enjoy the one that's very simple, where they put the little cilantro on top.
Yeah, that's the true Mexican street way. Chopped onions, a little bit of cilantro, and just the whatever particular protein, the roasted meat that you have, whether it's the barbacoa or the carnitas or the lengua, or depending on how hardcore, authentic the place you're going to. Now, because I do like some of those kind of no frills taco, the bodegas.
Also, like a naked taco makes you sick. With the places that have like 40 different kinds of tacos, and they're just making their own. They're making up while they go. And
there's a new one that opened in downtown Fort Lauderdale along Riverwalk. I forgot the name of it, but it's like all these combinations and newfangled things that have nothing to do with Mexican food. They're like putting like chicken parmesan on a taco or something like that. Like that. But again, it's become exceedingly popular, and you just put something in between a tortilla and you put it in those little silver trays so that they present, like, what I'm talking about, like the upright silver things, so the taco trays. I'm just bored with it because I think it's like late. I'm again, here comes pretentious elitist Mayo. But when I go to a place like El Guanaco, which is, I've come to love, and it has Mexican menu and also Salvadoran food, the pupusas, because it's owned by both, the two business partners. One is Mexican, one's from El Salvador, and they have a
place where we went. Oh yeah,
that's the place we went. And but they had, when I go there and I'm gonna have some of their Mexican items, I love their burrito. I love the way they did the burrito. I love their mole. When I go to Mexican restaurants, and another one I like is Casa Frida on Federal Highway, and then Casa Maya up in Deerfield Beach. But I go for like the dishes, like with the pippin, like the pork with the pippin sauce. It has like a certain type of, I don't know if it's not even a pumpkin sauce. So I'm just making things up now. But they have the mole sauce, which is kind of a very complex thing with 40 different ingredients, and they use chocolate and cocoa in there and things like that. So it gives it kind of, it's not sweetened chocolate, but it gives it like I like kind of complex and other dishes. But a taco to me is just boring and plain. However,
I like that.
My daughter, her mom's away this week, and I'm meeting her for dinner after her school and cheerleading practice. So I posted it to the Let's Eat group. My daughter wanted some tacos for Taco Tuesday, so I posted to the group seeking Taco Tuesday suggestions for a dad-daughter dinner. And then this is where I get very specific.
Everything tacos. Okay.
Well, I said in Central or Western. In Central Western Broward along the I-595 corridor, Plantation, Sunrise, Davie.
Okay.
All right. And I said, thanks. Okay. And the group is great because I got a consensus. There's basically two places people were mentioning. Okay. One is called Bien Chido, which is on Broward Boulevard and like 69th in Plantation. And I don't know if you've ever heard of it.
That's my hood, quote unquote. I know that area, Bien Chido.
Yeah, it might be new, but a lot of people. And I looked at the website, and they have a good Taco Tuesday deal: 2 tacos and a drink for $6.
Oh, wow.
Which is now in my price range after getting dinged with the air conditioning. But that was, and then another place called. What's it called? Davie. Hold on a second. Davie Taco Bar, which is like on State Road 84, right there by 136, in between 136th and Flamingo, there on State Road 84. It's called Davie Taco Bar. Those seem to be the consensus picks on the group, which is fine. But then, and that's why I love the group. There's 122,000 people on there, and you could throw something out there like a specific request. and that's nice. But then you get people who are giving me places in Boca Raton and Coral Springs.
They give you La Union. Like, what's the place they did in Coral Springs?
I'm looking through it now. Hold on a second, because this is one of the things that,
Oh,
like, do
they
you
have
even
sopes? Oh, this place is nice.
which one? The
Place the one in Broward. They have a nice
oh
menu.
yeah, Bien Chido. Yeah, and again, that's the one I'm going to be
Oh,
going
man,
to. So
sopes.
thank you for
That's
everybody.
great.
Somebody's put in. And of course, I've tried to bookmark it, but oh yeah, tonight Tulum Prime in Coral Springs has $4 off menu taco. It's like, read the post, people. I don't want to go to Coral Springs. I gave a very specific corridor, somewhere along that 595 Broward Boulevard, along that whole stretch. And thanks to those who actually read the post. And oh yeah, La Condesa in Boca, if you want to take a little drive, is totally worth it. Okay, I don't want to go to Boca. I don't want to take a drive. Okay, there's a reason people put the geographical thing. It's not the time to give. I didn't say, tell me your favorite taco places in South Florida. All right, people. I hate all of
They
you.
wanted to
I
let you
hate.
know.
Yes. I guess they just want to put it on my radar, which is
Exactly. There you
fine.
go.
If I was trying to compile a list of tacos to change my mind about tacos, but we're not doing that just yet. I had a whole harangue about why I hate Yelp, but I'm not even going to get into that yet. Let's take our
I was
second
gonna say,
break and let's talk about
this will be a whole segment.
Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Restaurant. We're going to be out there a week from Thursday. I can't believe it, Lubie. This Sunday is already the beginning of stone crab season, and that is one of my favorite dates on the calendar. October 15th through May 1st is South Florida stone crab season.
Nice.
And that means the trash will start being pulled up by the crabbers on Sunday morning. Some of the fresh product will hit the stores by Sunday afternoon, maybe in time for the Sunday night game. You could go out to Delaware, 4191 North State Road 7 in Hollywood, and they usually get those fresh catch in there later in the day on Sunday, although on Sunday they close a little bit earlier. I think the hours are only till 4 p.m. So I don't know if they're going to have any fresh catch. I'll find out from Jose in the next day or two whether they'll have any on the shelves by late in the day on Sunday. If not, Monday is the day. And for us, Thursday, October 19th, is our day that we're going to be feasting on some of the fresh catch, the bounty of the seas, shamelessly diving into platters of beautiful, large, and maybe even a couple of jumbo stone crabs thrown in. Delaware is the place to go for the freshness in seafood and poultry and steaks and sausages. They've got a whole wide variety of stuff, prepared foods like the roasted chicken, the fish dip you want to pick up for the parties that you go to, or just any weekend hanging out at home watching the games. Again, Delaware has been in business a long time. Owner Doug Carter and his crew do a great job. They'll take great care of you. They're open every day. Go to DelawareChicken.com. That's the website that has all the latest offerings, the weekly specials, and so on and so forth. And it's not too early to start thinking about Thanksgiving. And again, that's the place to get your fresh turkeys that are trucked in that same week from a farm in Florida. It's been on my Thanksgiving table for decades now, and I suggest that you also give it a try for your holiday feasts. Again, Delaware Seafood, DelawareChicken.com is the website. Better yet, go into the store. Tell them that the Lunchbox sent you.
Before we go to break, Andy did have a great suggestion talking about the central and western Broward area. In San Diego, there's a place called Mission Tacos. They do San Diego, California. They do a great job if you ever want to just fly there for tacos.
Okay, great. Yeah, that'll be convenient after school today. We'll just hop a flight back and take a red eye in time for the school tomorrow. Thanks, Andy.
More of this edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox and more bitching and moaning next, right here on Mike Mayo's Lunchbox.
People come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. Go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and of course, the kitchens are open late. Go there, tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. This is Grill at Meisner Park in Boca Raton, located at 404 Plaza Real. Since 1991, delicious modern American cuisine in a stylish yet casual setting. The outdoor patio and lively bar is the place to see and be seen at Meisner. It also features a sushi bar and a dry-aged steak program. Don't miss their long-term signature dishes like tomato parmesan breadsticks, radiatore pasta, and bacon-wrapped meatloaf. So good. Open daily with live music Wednesday through Saturday evenings and a great weekend brunch. For reservations and more information, go to maxsgrill.com. Want great Italian food in a beautiful beachfront setting? Have I got the place for you? Casa Calabria at the Ocean Manor Resort, 4040 Galt Ocean Drive in Fort Lauderdale. Highly rated across all the restaurant review platforms and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved. Delicious, authentic Southern Italian food in a cozy dining room overlooking the Atlantic. Live music in the lounge, full bar, and a great wine list. Owner Frank Talrico takes great pride in his family recipes from his native Calabria. Fresh fish and seafood, veal, house-made pastas, and marinara sauces smooth as silk. You gotta try the imported meats and cheeses on the antipasta platters, and don't miss that ricotta gnocchi. Fluffy little pillows straight from heaven. Casa Calabria, open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday, closed on Mondays. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. We're back on the Lunchbox. Lubie, I found it. It's called Velvet Taco, is the new restaurant, new taco place downtown Fort Lauderdale, right? I guess near Riverwalk. And here, let me read you a couple of things that kind of send me into a fit. They have various types of various types of tacos, including a chicken and waffle taco, crisp tenders, peppered bacon, peppercorn gravy, green apple slaw, maple syrup, red chili aioli, scallions, house-made waffle tortilla. They have the fried paneer, tomato chutney tikka sauce taco. That's the Indian type.
Okay.
They have a Korean fried rice taco, slow roasted pulled pork with gochujang, egg fried rice, red chili aioli, pickled red onions, jalapeno, grilled pineapple on a flour tortilla. And you know what? Just what is the freaking point? Okay, like if you want Korean fried rice, just have Korean fried rice. Why do you got to stick it in a flour tortilla? Like, you don't see delis like Top Hat, even though they might put unmelted cheese on the pastrami. You don't see them offering Korean fried rice on rye bread. Like, because basically what they're doing is just stuffing any kind of food
into a thing.
In a tortilla, which that concept you can apply to just put any food nachos in between rye bread or maybe some of Tom T's muffaletta bread. What is the freaking point? I mean, that it drives me nuts, or am I wrong?
I like it shrimp taco. See, you're talking to the wrong person, because I don't know if I need everything into a tortilla, but I was like, oh, that sounds interesting.
You know what? Maybe I've become the
Yeah,
cranky old
you're like a
man
crazy
that,
old man.
and maybe I should try it first before I condemn it,
I-
right? Go
Well,
into
no,
everything
okay,
with
look,
an
it's
open
like what
mind.
we do with the Cuban. Hey, you're not even saying that they can't do it. It's just why does it have to be a taco? Then just make it your own name for the dish. You created something. There's nothing wrong with that, but it doesn't have to be a taco because that's not a taco. A taco, as we know, is Mexican based with Mexican different items put into either the crappy shell that Defo and I like, or the flat, small corn or flour tortilla shell. Yeah, I don't know. People love to jump on the bandwagon, and people eat it, so that's why they do it.
The Kobe smash burger taco. That's the number 10.
Oh,
Peppered bacon, cheese blend, lettuce, red onion, tomato, house brine pickles, velvet sauce, whatever that is, and a flour tortilla. So,
it's probably
yeah,
amazing.
who needs burgers? Yeah, it's just okay. Just throw anything you want into a tortilla and open up a taco stand. I don't know.
It's all
It's
right.
just
You're
seems a
old
little lazy
cosby.
to me. All right, let me get my harangue out of the way about Yelp because I just was there's a place I guess Italian restaurant that recently closed up in Coral Springs up near your way. I forget the name of it, but I was just seeing whether it was closed, and it is. I think it was called Meze or something like. I don't even know what it was. But then I was looking at another review for a restaurant up there called Scuola Vecchia. Scuola Vecchia is like a Neapolitan pizza place that moved from Delray Beach to Coral Springs a few years ago. That is still open. Have you ever been there?
No, I never even heard of it. That sounds interesting.
Okay. It's really good. I would recommend
Wow.
it. But I was looking through Yelp just because sometimes I do that, and just when I want to get my blood pressure raised even more than it is. And thank God I don't own a restaurant, because if I did, I would make Reno Sorbonne from Heritage
And
look like Henry Kissinger, or like a regular peacemaker. Although I guess Kissinger wasn't really a peacemaker, but he did win the Peace Prize. But all right, this woman who's an elite Yelper, her name is Sherry, and she basically revised a review. And I didn't know you can do this. Like you can award 4 or 5 stars to a place on Yelp, but then you can go back at a later date and then subtract stars. And she basically went from 4 stars to 3 stars, and she wrote a couple of months ago, "I'm updating my review due to the experience we had last Saturday night. I am removing 1 star, something I've never done before." It's like, who cares? I mean, it's one thing if Pete Wells in the New York Times and no longer awards, 4 stars to Le Bernardine, but Sherry in Coral Springs, I don't give a crap that you're removing a star to Scuola Vecchia. And here's the reason. She went on a Saturday night when they had a band,
oh, gee.
and there was a major downpour, so they couldn't be seated outdoors, which was fine. So they were seated indoors. But at this time of year, she didn't realize that not only there was a guitar player, but also a
Oh
saxophonist,
no.
and the saxophonist was amplified and very loud. And she said that she politely asked the waiter and then any employee who happened to be nearby to please ask the musicians to turn down or turn off their amps. We had to repeat the question since it was too loud for anybody to hear. At some point, being frustrated and embarrassed for recommending this restaurant to our friends, I gave up being nice. So we asked the management to tone down the music so we could hear each other, and they
No,
refused.
that's not how restaurants. Oh my god, I just said with
Oh my God. Okay. If you go in, you're in the restaurant. The restaurant sets the tone and the rules. If they have live music, they're going to have live music. If you don't want live music, walk out the door and find another place. You don't start docking stuff. God, I hate people.
that's
And
you. That's not the restaurant. Like they want to vibe on Saturday night. Don't go back. Like this idea that we have to go vent to the world. You don't have to vent to the world. Like people do that when we do trivia. They're paying. I'm not asking to be there. They're paying me to do trivia. We have a big, especially landlubbers, where it goes very deep. There's a freaking table all the way in the back. Those people want to play. They have to hear. Like the people up front are like, it's too loud. I'm like, I don't know what the hell to tell you. Like if I turn it down, they can't hear in the back. And the whole point of us is for them to hear us in the back.
And the thing is, Yelp basically bestows these people with the elite status, and they go around like, am I bitter because I used to be a critic, and now everybody's a critic? No, I'm not bitter. It's just that people who have no business dishing out stars or criticism and don't know what it means to be fair or what the rules of the game should be. It's one thing if you go into a restaurant, it's a regular night, they don't have a band, and they pump up the music to 95 decibels, and it's ear splitting. Okay, then I've written reviews in the past where they say this restaurant just is very loud and they have bad acoustics and they maybe need to take some soundproofing measures, especially the industrial places. I would give constructive criticism saying, it's ear splittingly loud on a regular night, but on a night where there's music, you just got to go with the flow. Like Runway 84, they have, live music every night. They have this really, really good crooner with a band, and it starts usually at 8 o'clock or 7:30 at night. You just got to know. Part of the deal is when you're going in there now, it's almost like a Copacabana supper club vibe. So that's part of the whole deal. Understand what you're getting into, and these people, at least on Let's Eat, we have back and forth, and people call it harassing or attacking, but it's just being able to put forth opposing points of view and have a conversation. And I understand there are restaurants that you want to be able to have an enjoyable evening and have a conversation. And again, but if you find the place is too loud for your liking or has a live music and band, then just cross it off your list, and you don't have to go like shouting from. Well, you do have to shout if you're in a loud restaurant, but. Anyway, all right. I guess that's going to do it for today. I still didn't get to the whole bartenders with the sixth sense of how they know people are going to be good tippers or not just by looking at you. That was a post the other day that a woman was complaining that she feels that women don't get treated well at bars when they're alone.
Women suck as tippers. My wife's actually really good, but I don't know why. But for years, a lot bartenders would tell me this, that like women are not great, especially when it's a drink. Like, I don't know about getting food, but like when they're getting a drink, I guess they're used to getting free drinks all the time, that they're not used to tipping. So they didn't know to tip, and like they'd rather serve a dude over a woman because the women, like, it's always in movies, they always show the hot chick getting served first. They're like, yeah, that's a load of garbage. Like, dudes don't like serving women half the time because a lot of the time they don't tip well. And I always thought that was funny.
So there was something there was merit to the post. And this one was complaining about even women bartenders, and there was no, solidarity between sisters. It was like they also got the short end of the stick. The woman customer was complaining. I don't know. I'm not a woman. All I know is as a single male that's older and grayer and fatter now, I tend to get often ignored at bars too, and I try to tip well. And usually, when they go all around the bar to all the hot people, women, men, anybody that's young and fit. And then I say, if I light my arm on fire, maybe will you finally acknowledge my existence? Maybe one time. All right, that's going to do it. Lubie, we got through the hour. I didn't know if I was going to make it through today, but we had a lot on the agenda. I hope we all had fun. And that's going to do it until tomorrow. Man, I should call Queen.
I was going to say, see if Queen wants us, because I'm down to get in there. I'd love it. And do visit Lauderdale shows or whatever, so.
He's not open on weekdays for lunch. Typically, he is open weekends for lunch, but maybe we could get in there for a special show with him one of these weeks. I'd have to give him a little advance, but we will get in there. All right, that's going to do it for for Jeff Defo DeForest in absentia and Mike Lubie Lubitz. I'm Mike Mayo saying enjoy every sandwich, even if there's unmelted cheese on it.